give you a few others that are very, very powerful and some of my favorites. First of all, I think one of my favorites is, and if you ever get mixed up on this one, just look in the mirror. Your anatomy will help you with this every single time. Listen, listen, listen. You're born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them proportionately. As a matter of fact, double up on the ear quotient. Listen 4 times as often as you speak. Most people think when they're talking, and if they're talking, they control the situation. Au contraire, it's not true. The person who asks great questions and listens controls every situation. You've got to ask great questions. Great leaders ask great questions. Because ask is give. Tell is take. Ask. Ask. You've got to have really, and I'll give you some really good questions today. I'll give you some of the best possible questions you could ever think of from an interviewing process. As a matter of fact, why not? I go in different tangents. Why not throw this out right now? When you're at an interview, it's critical that you've got to be asking some good questions too. Not too many, but a few key ones. And you know what great questions are? Great questions are getting that person to talk about their favorite subject. What do you think their favorite subject is? Themselves. Of course. What's the most important thing to you? You. What do you think the most important thing to them is? Them. So in an interviewing process, how do you get them? Now, it's a given. When you go into an interview, you better know the company, you better know what they do, what they're all about. But here's taking it to the next level. Find out a little bit about them. Why can't? That's tough to do. Come on, in this day and age, you can find out about anybody. And here's the thing too, if you can't do it online and you can't go look it up, you can certainly connect into people at that office. There's so many different ways you can get information from receptionists, people at that office, executive assistants, whatever it happens to do. It's wide open. Now here's a really good question to ask them. Why did you come to work for this company? What motivates you? What motivates you to come into work every day? What do you, and this is just a few, what do you love about working for this company? And here's so anything to do that gets them to talk about what's important and why they love that company, because here's the key. The key is if you can get that in early on, you can build on it. And what are you building on? You're building on what's important to them, not your perception of how life works, their perception of how life works. That's what's critical. You guys got to get it down to what their perception of how life works, always and always. Sales 101. It's sales 101, and you're selling you. Find out what's important to them, build from there. And I always like to ask things I call compliment questions too. Compliment questions are, how can you compliment that person while asking the question? It's all in my book. All this stuff is in my most recent book. But compliment question might be you did some research and this person just did a study, or they just put out a paper, or they were just interviewed on a certain, maybe it might be something to do with the environment, whatever it happens to do, compliment by saying, that was a great article that you did. Could you tell me a little bit more? Powerful. That's what you got to get into. And guess what? That will differentiate you from the crowd, because most people spend their time thinking about, the company. I'm going to give you a little secret here, which really isn't a secret. Companies don't hire people. Companies don't hire people. They don't. People hire people. People first. Always people. You can have all these contacts, can have all these companies, but the people are always going to get you in the door. The people are going to make the difference. So let's get back to some of the gifts. Compliment people. Compliment question, right? Share, listen, smile, thank you, please. These are the great gives. The power of giving. Put yourself out there. By the way, if you're asking a great question that gets that person to talk about their favorite subject themselves, what a gift you just gave to that person.